Former First Lady Imelda Marcos told GMA News in 2013 that her family was willing to share gold bars of the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos, not just to Filipinos, but to the rest of humanity, as she so claimed this will save the world. Eight years since the Marcos matriarch's words, their supporters are betting on the late patriarch's namesake, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., to win the presidency in 2022, hoping he could finally end the guessing game on the lost Yamashita Treasure that has long been linked to their family. Whether it's true or not that the Marcoses are in possession of the lost treasure, what's clear is that the Marcos candidacy has again revived interest in one of history's most watched treasure hunts. What is the Yamashita Treasure, and what has the Marcoses got to do with it? There have been several tales passed on from one generation to another on how the late dictator Marcos is linked to the Yamashita Treasure. One version states that he found them when he was still a guerrilla commander during the Japanese occupation of the Philippines. He allegedly hid the treasures and shipped them to different places, including Switzerland, under his name. Part of the treasure that people believe to be with the Marcoses has collectively been called the Marcos Gold Bars, and in 1992, this idea was reinforced when Imelda claimed that some of the gold her husband has was from Yamashita's loot. Imelda said her late husband used the gold to help the Philippines survive an economic crisis from the 1960s to the 70s, but in the 2013 GMA documentary, she said the so-called Marcos Gold Bars were products of her husband's earnings and investments as a lawyer, a claim supported by her daughter, Senator Amy Marcos, in a 2018 interview. Another story, one that has been a subject of a Hawaii court case, involved a Filipino treasure hunter who discovered a golden Buddha filled with diamonds and gold bars believed to be part of Yamashita's treasure that was allegedly stolen by Marcos cronies. Based on Hawaii court documents, Rogelio Rojas, a locksmith in Baguio City, met a man named Fuchigami in 1961 who claimed that his father was in the Japanese army and had drawn a map to locate the Yamashita treasure. Rojas sought a permit from Judge Pio Marcos, a relative of the late strongman, to find the treasure. The hunt went on for months until Rojas and his team found a 3-foot-high golden Buddha with a removable head that contained diamonds, and a few days later, he and his team also found 24 gold bars. Rojas said he tried to contact Judge Marcos to no avail. In 1971, Marcos men raided Rojas's home and seized the Buddha, gold bars, a piggy bank belonging to his children, and his wife's coin collection. Months later, a replica Buddha was turned over to the local court, and Rojas was told by men who claimed to represent the late strongman's mother that he would be paid 3 million pesos if he said the Buddha was the same one he found in a cave. Rojas refused, and he was later arrested and tortured. While he managed to escape, he was again caught by Marcos men and tortured again. He was freed in 1974. After the People Power One ousted the late Marcos from power, Rojas filed a suit in 1988 against the dictator, whom he accused of stealing the golden Buddha that he found. Rojas signed his rights to the Golden Buddha Corporation, a company established for that purpose, before he died in 1993. While Rojas did not live to see the end of the court case, in 1986, a jury in Honolulu ordered the Marcoses to pay a record $22 billion for the golden Buddha. The Marcoses countersued, and in 1998, the Hawaii Supreme Court reversed the verdict, saying there was not enough evidence to correctly identify the quantity of the gold in the boxes allegedly found by Rojas. A portion of the decision, however, read, "There was sufficient evidence to support the jury's special finding that Ferdinand converted the treasure that Rojas found." Several legal proceedings followed, and in 2005, the Supreme Court of Hawaii upheld 2 decisions against Imelda for $6 million and $13 million in damages over the torture of Rojas and the claim of the converted treasure. So what now has become of this case? Until today, the Marcoses are still facing cases over their ill-gotten wealth, which has been estimated to be around $10 billion, excluding the so-called gold bars. For treasure hunters, though, one interesting detail that cropped up during the hearings was the possibility that there are more golden Buddhas hidden in the Philippines. Robert Curtis, an American mining firm owner who had met the late Marcos, testified during the Rojas trials that his study of the Yamashita treasure showed that artifacts and as many as 18 more golden Buddhas were believed to be scattered across 172 sites in the Philippines. This may be of interest to many Filipinos who are hoping that a Marcos presidency could shed light on the treasures. But as Aimee said in the 2018 interview, the treasures are no big mystery. There's no big mystery, and all these urban legends are lots of fun, and we deal with them as we do. What else is not a mystery? Of the $10 billion they stole from the Philippines' coffers, the Marcos family has yet to return over $6 billion, or 125 billion pesos, according to the Presidential Commission on Good Government. This, as Marcos Jr. seeks their family's return to Malacanang, 35 years since the end of their family's corrupt and bloody regime.